get to our first guest. Florida Congresswoman who sits on the House Homeland Security Committee, Kat Cammack. Congresswoman, it's always fantastic to see you. You know, you were the first to highlight in this country Biden and the Democrats making sure illegal alien babies had formula, while still the shelves are bare for most Americans. I'm sure stories like that contributed to Latinos walking off the leftist plantation. That exodus has Democrats terrified, as evidenced in that New York Times piece. What is your reaction to the racist New York Times headline calling the first Mexican-born woman elected to the House, quote, far right?
Well, it's good to see you, Chris. And it's disgusting. It's headlines like that that infuriate me and Americans all across this country. And certainly, speaking as a friend of Mayra and her family, I just have to say, she has her own opinions. She has what she knows to be true in her heart. And unfortunately for the New York Times, she just didn't check all the right boxes for them, because that's what the left is all about, checking boxes, right? But when it comes to diversity, diversity of thought is not allowed, because that goes against the socialist communist regime that they would love nothing more than to see take hold here in America. I know Mayra. I know her family. I've had the opportunity to spend time with them. They are wonderfully conservative, wonderful American-loving patriots. And for her to come forward and be the first Mexican-born Congresswoman to represent that district that has been held by a Democrat for over 100 years, what an amazing story. That's what America is all about. And she has been working her tail off more so than what her opponents have been doing. And I'm telling you, this is just a sign of what's to come, because there are so many Latinos across the country who don't get along with the program. I think collectively people want to make the best decisions for themselves, their families, their businesses, and the Democrats just want to control and shove these radical ideologies down their throats. We need to step forward, step up, and have the backs of people like Mayra and her family.
Yeah, she's the wrong kind of Latina for the New York Times, the left-wingers of the New York Times. And plus, since when did love of country become far right? Texas county officials have declared an invasion at the southern border. Are Republicans, are they efforting the same thing on the national level to basically call attention to what's happening down the border? Or do you think the Republican leadership has kind of lost their way on this one?
I think we are united in the fact that border security is hands down the #1 issue right now. It is an invasion, and I have been calling this an invasion for the longest time. I've been to the border several times. You can't call it anything but that. If this statistic doesn't scare you to death, I don't know what will. Currently, 40% of Mexico is under the control of the cartels. 40% of Mexican territory across the entire Mexican peninsula is under cartel control. I am just flabbergasted that we have not been coming together as Republicans and Democrats to secure our borders through any means necessary. So the declaration of invasion is long over. We lose operational control of the border at 3,000 a day. We see upwards of 8,000 a day. And now that the Supreme Court has ruled that the administration can get rid of MPP, that is going to trigger more to come, because we know that the Biden administration is happily accepting people in this country. They're completing the trafficking cycle for the cartels. And so this is long, long overdue. And I guarantee you, when we take back the House, first order of business come January is there is going to be a massive package to secure the borders and tighten up national security.
Meantime, Democrats' soft on crime policies are also partly to blame for the mass exodus of Latino voters out of that political party. California, for example, a large Latino population, is pushing a recall effort against Los Angeles DA George Gascon amid a surging crime wave in the entirety of the state, not just in L.A. But Gascon is only the head of the Hydra, if you will. When do you think our nation is going to get serious about the guy bankrolling all of these extremist DAs, George Soros?
You know, this is very interesting, because we in Florida have seen in the last 3 years 60,000 Californians get their Florida driver's licenses. They're not staying in California because the economy's great and crime is down. No, they're fleeing to the free state of Florida because of the crime and the corruption and the crack pipes and the homeless tent cities and all the craziness that is playing out. And Governor Newsom has the audacity to spend money in running ads in Florida over the holiday weekend saying, come back to California. It's great here. No, 2 officers tragically lost their lives because of a ridiculous DA who is more concerned with doing the politically expedient or popular thing that George Soros wants him to do. He needs to do the right thing. And quite frankly, he needs to resign. It's dangerous for the community.
Well,
and to your, there's going to be a lot more that happens in California if we do not get those DAs cleared out.
Sure, and he's not the only one. As stated, Mr. Soros has funded left-wing extremist, anti-American, anti-rule of law DAs all over this country, and it's a cancer eroding at public safety. Speaking of which, I wanted to get your reaction to this. The tragedy, of course, in Highland Park, but new details on the killer are emerging. Police say he purchased the guns legally, passed 4, count them, 4 background checks. State prosecutor, in the meantime, is applauding red flag laws and is calling for a nationwide ban on what they call assault weapons. There's no such thing, but they call them that anyway. Yet both of those gun control measures were in place in Illinois, and they failed. Question: can Americans afford to listen to Democrats as they insist we double down on stupid things that don't work?
I tell you what, you got to work really, really hard to be that dumb. And I still, to this day, am shocked that people can't seem to wrap their head around the basic notion that gun control does nothing more than empower criminals. It's like gun-free zones. Why would you advertise that you are defenseless? It makes no sense. All these gun control measures do nothing more than keep the weapons that law-abiding citizens need and have the right to bear out of their hands while simultaneously empowering criminals who don't follow the law anyway. The last time I checked, murder was still illegal in this country. And so I think that the Highland Park tragedy, it's sickening. Your heart breaks for the families. But simultaneously, look at what the Democrats are doing. They waste no time in making this a political statement. But at the same time, as you pointed out, they already have these restrictions on the books. And what we've been saying all along is they don't work. These extended background checks don't work. He went through 4. These red flag laws don't work. They have had them on the books. This is why we are needing so badly to address the core issue here, and that is mental health. This kid was suicidal back in 2019. There were all kinds of indicators showing that he needed mental help, and he never got it. Why are we not talking about the shooter who committed the crime and instead demonizing the weapon and those that want to protect themselves and their families? It makes no sense. All the more reason why we've got to take the House and
Yeah, and the answer to your question, Congresswoman, is because the media refuses to focus on what will protect the American people. They're focused on what will work out to the Democrats' political advantage. And I think you and I both understand that. Congresswoman Kat Cammack, always appreciate the time.